What is going on, guys? This is Mando with M Traders, and today we're going to be talking about natural gas. I know it's been a few days that I haven't made a video, but nothing excited had happened yet. So I think now we're at a point where, I'm going to buy natural gas. I'm going to go into long positions, and I'm going to start doing it in a moderate way, not extremely heavy, but I think it's just time for me to start adding long positions. So for those who do not know me, I usually trade natural gas and natural gas ETFs. And it also, if you have not been following me on StockTwist or my Twitter, make sure you start following me right over here, which is right there, right? So make sure you guys start doing so. And without further ado, let's get started. Let's get the video going and let's see if we can make some money. See ya. So what's going on, guys? And right after market, there was a big dump on, almost like a 10-cent dump on natural gas, and it just so happened that it was right after a report from the Department of Energy. Besides, I don't want to be talking about that. I just want to be talking about, prices and where we at right now. Right now we're a 52-week low on UNG and also UGAZ. We're a 52-week low, and on natural gas price contracts, we're actually at a level that I like to buy. Anything at around 1.6, between 1.6 and 1.7, for me that's a buy zone, especially when it comes to trading natural gas ETFs like UNG or UGAZ. And I'm seeing, a very, very low price, and taking fundamentals into account, I think it's time for me to go long, especially after that big dump from, aftermarket today. So looking at the natural gas futures, this is my buy zone. Anytime it touches this square, this is where I like to buy. I'm hoping tomorrow morning we open below 1.7. We did recover some of the losses after that initial dump, but I think it should continue the downtrend into this, my buying territory. So this is what I like to buy, anything below 1.7. Well, let me specify, it's not everything below 1.7. It's, depending on price action and what is going on, I might just wait a little bit longer to get a better price. But I think this buy zone, which is the pink rectangle or purple, I'm a little bit colorblind, by the way, is an excellent zone for me to buy natural gas. So this is an excellent zone for me to go long. If that does happen, I am expecting a pretty nice rally, taking in consideration some of the fundamentals that's going on, right? And I'll be talking about those in a little bit. We are pretty much at an all-time lows. Even though natural gas doesn't seem like it's at an all-time lows, it is. Remember that price contracts, or the contracts for natural gas, they roll over. So each price for every month is a different price. We can have August, September, October contracts a bit higher than what they currently are right now for the July and June contracts. So anytime it rolls over, it's gonna have a big gap, like you guys can see right over here. We went from around 1.76 to at around 1.93. It does not mean that we did have a gap up, right? It doesn't mean that by any means. It just means that it rolled over to the next month. So let's say the high of the day, which was whatever time we closed, about 1.77. When we opened 1.935 was basically the same amount of when it comes to the pricing. It stayed the same. Basically, it's just rolled over to the next month. And the best way I can explain it is like by looking at UNG, right? So by looking at UNG, so here it is on 526. 526 was the same time the contract rolled over. If you guys notice, the price actually stayed the same, even though there was about a pretty good jump, about what it was, like 15-20%. It was actually didn't affect the price of UNG nor UGAS. It just stayed flat. Then obviously after we touched the CMA 100, it rejected, and it kept rejecting. It keeps going down. The downtrend continues. So that being said, I'm long natural gas, and I'm going to show you why on the fundamentals. And really quick, the ones that I use when it comes to my weather models is HFII weather website. I do have a link on the description down below. Make sure that if you do like the setup of the service, make sure you guys go ahead and click on that link, and it'll give you, a pretty decent amount of when it comes to knowledge into trading natural gas. Right, so it's only $150 for the entire year, and I think it's a well worth price. Just if you guys are interested, make sure you go to the link down below, right on the description, and click it. It should take you right over here. So without further ado, let's get started. For if you do not know how to read the weather models, Nina's commentary kind of tells you specifically what is going on when it comes to the 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 10 to 15 day, and also the 16-day forecast. The 1 to 5 days showing slight bearish signs with cooler weather decreasing electric air conditioning demand for population sensors in the US. 6 to 10 day is bullish with hot weather increasing. 10 to 15 day is neutral with signs of both warm and cold weather across the country. And then 16-day forecast is 100% neutral. So we are seeing an increase in TDDs when it comes to the table, to the actual chart. And for the graph, we see, bouncing from the lows on the TDDs, and TDDs are still increasing overall in the long term. So that's something I'm also keeping an eye, is making sure that the TDDs keep on increasing. Now, looking at the 1 to 5 day myself, this one actually looks slightly bullish. I don't want to say neutral. Sometimes I do not agree with the commentaries. Sometimes I do, but it's good to have a reference point where you can kind of base your thoughts off of, bounce ideas from, what the service is saying that is happening. But in my case, I think it's slightly bullish for the 1 to 5 day. The 6 to 10 for me, slightly bullish, not completely 100% bullish, but slightly bullish. The 10 to 15 day, it looks a bit more bullish in my opinion. And finally, this is the 16-day cluster. 16-day cluster, it does kind of look neutral to me. So kind of neutral to me for a 16-day cluster. So what am I waiting for to get into the, in my opinion, the perfect storm to go long? So what I'm waiting for is, again, I want the production to decrease. I mean, there has not been an acceleration in production cuts, which is kind of, I want to say, irritating, knowing that the prices of oil are still kind of, high now when it comes to the oil prices. Right, in order for the companies to start making some money in oil prices, they need to be above $50 a barrel. So I don't blame them to trying to push the prices up, but I think that the production cuts do not justify this price movement yet. I still think that the production cuts need to continue and to continue to accelerate in order to push prices higher of natural gas, because we've been at all-time highs when it comes to production, and they haven't made significant cuts for to push prices above. Now is above $2 a barrel. I mean $2 per MMBTU. So I'm waiting for production costs to continue. The price that I like to buy UGAS is whenever natural gas price falls below 1.7 and watching price action. That's when I might get in, and I'll be posting whenever I get into a trade. So if we wake up tomorrow and it's below 1.7, most likely might start entering positions into long positions for natural gas, and most likely will be a swing over the weekend, right? I'm expecting at least a price movement on natural gas about 10% when it comes to going long into that position. So 10% price movement for next week. And that being said, that's all I got for today. Hopefully you guys liked the video, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do subscribe and hit the notification bell, and I will see you next video. Thank you.